It will probably die in the middle. Okay, so this camera, we were hoping the technology keeps working today. It's October the 2nd, and we've been working on this math workshop this week. We are on today 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, give me 1 second. Ooh, it didn't like that one, did it? Okay, so starting out, I'm going to, when I write these things, I do like to write mine up and down. Not everybody does that, and that's fine, but show me your work. And I'm just going to go ahead and write them all so I don't have to do it later. And like I've said, I have gone over all these in each class, so why a kid wouldn't have the work, I don't know. Like, if I do it, you should have it. You should have it right. Here we go. Let's learn from this. Yes?
I did 5 and 7 in my head.
Okay. I'm just not a big, I love paper pencil, like I'm weird. So just see if you got it. Okay. So, starting out, we talked about common denominators a few minutes ago. Now, I want to show you also why we've been doing everything we've been doing for the last 2 weeks. Okay, so the one thing I taught you in the last 2 weeks was LCM. And some of you were like, well, Miss Donahue, why do we need this? Okay, well, here it is. When you are finding common denominators, you're literally doing LCM, least common multiple. You are skip counting by 6s and 4s until you find one, the lowest one, hopefully, that matches. That's why we taught that to you. That is finding that number. Okay? Now, if you use 24 or you use 36 or something like that, that's fine. We're just going to simplify our answers. Okay, so does everybody see how I got that so far? Okay, next part of it is creating the numerator. Okay, I personally go across. I say 4 times what equals 12? 3. And whatever I have here, I kind of do on top. So 3 times 3 is 9. Okay. Now, whatever I do on the bottom will be different. So that's why I'm kind of changing colors. 6 times what is 12? 2. And 1 times 2 is 2. I'm kind of going slow in case your parents need a refresher course. It happens. You'd be surprised. Okay. Meaning if any parents are watching it. So, I look over here, it's plus. I'm now working with these fractions. So 9 plus 2. 11, and the denominator is 12 because we're keeping that bottom number, and 3 plus 2 is 5. Now, does anything simplify 11 and 12? No. You can make some factor trees, but nothing would match up. So we're done with that one. Okay. Looking at number 6. Okay. Well, think about it. If I skip count by 6s and 8s.
I couldn't get it.
Okay, but listen, what part can't you get?
No, like, I get how to do it. I just did it wrong. Yeah.
Okay, but are you talking about this one?
Yes.
Okay, what did you use for a denominator?
48.
Okay, so I do want to say this, and I want to show you. I thought I was showing you, but it wasn't working. Okay, so look at something.
Oh, they 24.
Shh, relax. Relax.
My mind is
Okay, right here. Okay, so if I skip count by all those numbers, you're saying you used 48. Okay, and I want you to know that is fine. A I'm going to show you how to work it with 48. Back here would have been a little easier with 24. Are we good so far? Okay, now I want you to realize what you're doing is right. So, if I use 48, okay, and I go with my thinking what I call a cross, I don't know what else to call it, I do 8 times 6 is 48, so 2 times 6 is 12. We good so far? Okay, on the bottom part, I get 6 times 8 is 48, 1 times 8 is 8. And then subtract, so 12 minus 8,
7.
12 minus 8,
4.
4, so okay, 4 48s, and 7 minus 3, I know, 4. Now, all it is, if you go back and you were using like a 24, you wouldn't have to simplify right here. This simplifies, 4 and 48. What simplifies it?
4.
4. Okay, so if I divide this by 4, excuse me, and that by 4, keep the big 4. On the top is a 1, and on the bottom is a 12. So as long as you got 4 and 1 12, you have it right.
I did not use my brush.
Okay, but go back. Where's the mistake at? Is it making the numerators? Is it making the denominator? Oh, 12 minus 8? Okay. Listen, if you had 24, look at this weird pen. Be ready. If you had 24, all it's saying is 8 times 3 is 24. 2 times 3 is 6. So you should have had 6 24s. 6 times 4, 1 times 4 is 4. So you have 6 minus 4. 2 24s. Which is right, 2 24s. 7 minus 3 would be 4. And then 2 and 24 simplify by 2 to make it 112. I'm trying to show you all that you're both right. Both of these are totally correct. Okay, yes.
I did that, then I did something like really crazy. I added the 7 and the 3.
Oh, yes, I see that every once in a while. That's where, honestly, that's where partial credit helps, is where if you just miss part of it. But, you know, yeah, just keep watching. Yes.
I did 24, I did 6 times 3, and then instead of 6 times 4.
That'll do it. Yeah, did you use 24 though? Yeah, so 6 times 4, yes. Yeah, just be careful. Okay, I got a question to y'all. Anything on those two so far? Okay, now I'm going to go to these two. Okay, the next two, one's add, one is subtract. But listen, I need you to look. On subtraction, if there is no fraction, there's nothing minus something. It's kind of like you have nothing and they want you to take away 2 slices of pizza. Well, if you have nothing, you can't get the 2 slices. So, you're going to borrow from the 8, make it a
7.
Okay, and here's the key. Whatever your denominator is.
It's going to be the numerator and the denominator.
Okay, so for this one, there's nothing to add to it. If there was something up here, we would add 3/3. But there's nothing to add to it, so we get to just place it there. That is 1. It's just cutting 3 slices, and you have all 3 slices. So 3 minus 2, 1. Out of 3s. And 7 minus 2, 5. Some of the borrowing ones, like even on today's assignment, are easier than they look. Yes? You would need to find 12 as a common denominator down here, though. But yes, it just would create more work for yourself. Yeah. Okay, so on the next one, if I skip count, are you okay? Okay, didn't know. 7 and 4. Skip count by 7 and 4.
That's 28.
28. Okay.
13, 9, 29.
Guys, I didn't ask for the answer. You know that, baby. Just 1 second. 1 second.
Oh, can I stop?
1 second. 1 second. Okay, so what's up here? Look where I'm pointing.
16.
16. I'm trying to get you to help me, but you're more impressed. Turn it around. Look. 7 times 4 is 28. 4 times 4.
16.
16. 4 times 7. 28. 3 times 7. 21. Okay, adding. So, 16 plus 21 is going to be 37 over, 28, sorry.
And then it's 12.
Now, I need you to stop right here because it is wrong still.
Yep.
Even for you friends who are just talking and not looking.
You have to do 1 and no.
This part.
Oh.
You've got to divide out this by making it a mixed number. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to learn.
if I stop again, I will call a parent to talk to them about behavior. That's all I'm going to say when it comes to this. I want you to work with me and answers and all that, but I'm not starting this entertaining one another stuff. Okay, so my top number is bigger than my bottom. So I've got to do the backwards check mark or divide it. How many 28s are in 37? 1. How many's left over? 9 over 28. Okay. Now, what's happening is this. Some of y'all are circling that as your answer. I need you to notice there is a, I know that y'all don't want to waste your pencil time and write that part, but it's not right if you just give me that, because 1 plus 12 is 13 and 9 28. Now ask yourself, does 9 and 28 simplify? No.
28 can't simplify by 3.
And if you don't know, listen, then you would make factor trees. 3 and 9 is the only thing that goes into 9. 3 can't go into 28 evenly, and 9 can't go into 28 evenly. So that is it. We're done with that one. Okay. Yes.
Is it okay if I subtracted 37 and 28?
As long as you got the 1 in there. Now, the one style of problem that is messing people up, I'm hoping you're listening, I'm hoping you're looking, is one like this. Here we go. You don't have to write it down, just watch. It's something like this, where you can't do the 1 minus 2, and everybody knows to borrow. They're all, I gotta borrow. They're borrowing from the 6. They're making it a 5. But from there, I've got people doing the wrong things. If there is a fraction there already, then you use the denominator of 3. You're using 3/3. But what happens is you are literally adding it. So it's not like 3 minus 2. You literally got to add these together. So 3 plus 1, 4/3. Then bring this over, minus 2/3. Now do the math of 4 minus 2, 2/3, and 5 minus 2, 3. So all I'm trying to show you is, if there is a fraction there, you literally add that number to the top. If there's not a fraction there, if it's just a blank hole, then yes, you just put it. Listen, what would you put if this number I'm pointing at was a 9?
You would put 9.
9 ninths. What would you put if it was an 11? 11 elevenths. Even if it was 100, you would put 100 over 100. Even if down here it was 100, you would add 100 hundredths. Whatever equals 1 that goes with that common denominator. Yes.
I just thought of this like a problem you just wrote down, and there's only like one whole number and no fraction. Has there ever are you able to, like when you have to put a fraction down, take it from the bottom number, can you turn that into a whole number and just keep it into a fraction?
I mean, it could turn into a whole number. Yeah. The weird thing is, like eventually you'll have negative fractions and stuff like that. So right now it's like we're still kind of just barely touching the fractions. Here's the plan. Okay. We're going to be working on assignment. I'm going to kind of skip around while I video some problems. I might do the first couple, but then I might skip around a little bit. Just to kind of see who watches the video tonight. That's why. But I'm going to do mine on notebook paper, especially since these are kind of crowded up. They are adding and subtracting. So what I would do is honestly start by kind of getting ahead of me. So if you can't, start 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just keep going. Then in a minute, I'm going to video doing like some of them, okay? Friends that are waiting on me to do this, or if you are sitting at home or whatever. Okay, this is what they're doing. They're working on this. I am passing them out. I'm going to do it on notebook paper because I like notebook paper. Yes.
Just a question. Shannon, do you use apps to make money?
What?
There's an app called Ads where you do ads and you can make money if you like put ads in the video.
I know nothing about it. Okay, this has nothing to do with my math right now. I get it, but I don't think so. Yes. Friend, get paper and pencil. Get paper and pencil. Okay. Now, you need one? Then quit playing. Like, get with me. Okay. Here we go. Most of the kids worked really hard and made it to about number 20 before they left out of here. Because they had plenty of time. Plenty of time. Those are the ones who didn't talk or play and got it done. I'm going to be right here. Here we go. Now, for videoing's sake, because I can't stay after school all day, I'm going to start just recording some. In most classes, I've done 1 through 5. So I'm just going to start kind of working them. See what we get. And then all answers should be in its simplest form.
Okay.
Common number that they have in common. Whoops, sorry, I didn't know I was so far down the board. Okay. Three looks a little weird because the 5/12 and then the 6 is kind of over here. But with addition, it officially doesn't matter. You could flip-flop them if you wanted. It doesn't matter. I'm just kind of writing it the way it is on the paper. You can't flip subtraction. Please remember that. Okay. So step 1, common denominator. Step 2, make the numerator. So 12 times 1 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. This one's adding, so I get 8/12. Bring down the big 6. Okay, 6 and 10 both have 2 that would go into them. They're even numbers. Does that help a little bit? Okay. Anything even, remember, if they end in, if any number, I don't care what, like if I look at this fraction, if it ends in the numbers, okay, end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Okay, it could be 1,008. Then you can divide it by 2. So I want you to think about it. That ends in an 8, that was in my list. That ends in a 2, that's in my list. If they're both in the list, then we can divide them both by 2. Does that help a little bit? So I keep my big 6. I know I'm running out of space, but 8 divided by 2 is 4. 12 divided by 2 is 6. What happened there? I'm being silly and making him answer me. Look at 4 and 6. So I got 6 and 4, 6. What happened now? Look, I got to do it again, don't I? Because that ends in 4 and that ends in 6. So, and I'm going to kind of squish it in here, which isn't the best teacher thing, but if I divide by 2 here, I get a 2. And if I divide 6 by 2, I'd get a 3. You got it. And that's fine. If you use that over and over, you know, that is fine. All it is back here we should have used a 4. But if you don't know the 4, just use 2 twice. Yes. You could do by 4, yes. So if you did it by 4, you went straight to 2/3. And that was the GCF, greatest common factor. So you really want to use 4, but if you don't know 4, use 2. Just use it twice. Okay, good. Okay, let's try number 4. Let's see. 5 3/4. Let's see. Okay, move it up a little bit. Here's number 4. Okay, we got a weird mixed improper fraction. We got to divide this part out. Kind of like the backwards check mark thing. So how many 44s would be in 61? 1. There would be 17? Yeah. Well, that'd be an 11 minus 4 would be 7. That'd be 5 minus 4 would be 1. So 17, until it's the last class period, my brain's starting to fall apart. Keep the 44. Okay, but that's not the answer. Bring down this 6. You got to add it to the 1. 7 and 17. 44s. Okay, and then I check, does 17 go into 44 evenly? No, so it doesn't simplify. I am done with that one. Okay, I'm going to do one more just because these are the ones that I've mostly done in all my classes. Either 4 or 5, just... Okay. So, common denominator. 2 minus 3. Gotta borrow from the 5. Make it a 4. And literally add. This is the ones I'm talking about. I gotta add 8 eighths. Whatever those bottom numbers are. So I get 10 eighths minus 3 eighths, 7 eighths, and 4 minus 4 would be nothing. So it's just 7 eighths. I see some lost looks. Does anyone have a question? Like, I would love questions. Yes? 7 we gotta fix. Listen. Good. 1 second. Breathe. Let me find my cheat sheet. Here we go. I need you right now to fix number 7. All of you. If you are on even if you're not on number 7, go to number 7. Listen, the second fraction right here where my pen's pointing should be 2 1/5. The second fraction. Change it to 2 1/5. I was just so into my video world I forgot to tell y'all. That's the only mistake. Change just this fraction to 2 1/5. And it'll make it doable, as I call it. Yes?
I don't know how you got like 7 eighths when the top number was lower than the bottom, the 2 was lower than the 8. I don't know how you got like, you added that. Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, borrowed and added more to it to make the top number bigger. And I had one literally earlier, like further down the page. I thought I had it wrong, and then Miss Judson's like, you gotta borrow. I was like, oh yeah. Like, I just forgot in the middle of it, one of the 8s. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of do some of these. There's no reason why I'm picking the ones I'm doing. I'm just gonna do some. I don't know. Just kind of doing this for the fun of it. Let's see. Bless you. Number 8, I will say, there are 3 denominators. So that just means that you would find the LCM, bless you, the least common multiple for those 3 numbers. So if you skip count, I'm not going to tell you the answer, and please don't say it out loud. I want to see tomorrow how many of us can figure it out. But if you were to keep going, they match up. Hint, hint. Then you would set it up. Like, when you work it, you literally set it up with 3 fractions. Put the little equal sign. And then whatever you get for that common denominator. And make the new numerators. I don't want to give too much. I want to kind of challenge you, but be thinking about that. Like you're just kind of, it's the same thing. Okay, so let me see. I'm just going to do a few. Kind of no reason. I'm going to jump around. I'm going to do number 11. Maybe if you're in here right now and you're watching me video this, maybe when I get done with it, maybe just jot down the answer and see if you can get the answer later. I know you're not there yet, or you could watch the video tonight, as long as technology keeps working. But, okay, this part has got to be pulled out. It equals 1 5/10 plus the 8 Ooh, I like that one. That, and I just happened to pick that one, but I remember doing it earlier thinking that was a doozy. Kind of has every simplify there is.
Are you going to leave it on the board?
Not really.
Okay.
Okay, let's say I go to 13. And I have a 5 minus 3 and 11, 26. This one's just weird because you don't think 26 would be a common denominator, but if you're borrowing, you're going to use whatever that bottom number is. And that one doesn't simplify anymore. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because, and I kind of think going across, 10 times 1 is 10. 7 times 1 is 7. Does that help a little bit? And then 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 2 is 8. Yeah, it's weird to see. And if you think about it, just 7/10 is equal to 7/10. Like if you've got that same number on each side, you can just copy that numerator. Yeah, it's okay. This is hard for me to teach because there's so many different places that all of you can be stuck at. So if you don't ever ask me, I can't get in your head and figure out where you're stuck, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. Let's see, 5. I'll do one more. Okay, I'll do 16. One more. Okay, let's see, 5 2/3. Happens to be another mixed up fraction. This part right here has got to be pulled out to make 1 4/33. And if I add in the 7, I end up with 8 4/33. And it wouldn't simplify. Okay? And this is another reason why when I say you got to show your work, you got to show your work. There's just no way around it. Okay, so your homework, please listen, is to finish. Please listen. And I said it in every class. Some kids were already ahead, and that's fine. That's fine. but I am only having you do through 16. So, I am only having you do 1 through 16, and I just gave you 8 of them. Okay? Yes. If you did more, that's fine. Just keep it. Don't erase it.